Hi everyone, in this video we will be basically talking about general tips for IIT JEE preparation, and something which is I think is quite an important topic is time management. I feel that while doing JEE preparation, a lot of aspirants become really stressed and get really worked up, and one of the reasons is that they are not effectively able to manage their time because there is so much going on. You have school now, almost everyone goes to coaching. You have to go to coaching, you have to travel there, you have to come back, then there are school exams, there are so many test series going on. So many aspirants find it really difficult to manage their time, and it seems that it is one of the problems that a lot of students face. So we basically wanted to give you what we feel are some tips which effectively mean good time management, and that is basically the idea behind this video. And throughout these section of tips videos, where we basically will be giving you what we feel are the best practices to prepare for IIT JEE, we want to emphasize the importance of being relaxed, because oftentimes whenever you worry too much and take too much stress, you effectively end up losing a lot of time worrying about things, and you are not actually doing anything productive. So in time management, that is what my focus would be. I would personally, I am of the opinion that you should still take out time for sleep and for relaxing. It is very important to study. We all understand that everybody wants to study and everybody wants to do a lot in every single day, but scientifically it has been shown that if you cut down on your sleep for a long period of time, it will eventually catch up with you and it will affect your efficiency. So the first thing that I want to emphasize for effective time management is actually sleep habits. So what do I mean by that? And I'll have a more detailed video just on sleep, and I really feel that it is important for you, all of you, to realize that if you just take too much stress and do not sleep well, it is not going to be really helpful for you. So one of my suggestions, my suggestion for time management is actually sleep. Have a good sleep. I don't want to give you like exact hours of how much time you should sleep, but roughly speaking, people generally say that generally 8 hours of sleep is a good healthy sleep. If you feel you are fine with 7 or 9 or 6.5 or 7.5, it's fine, but it shouldn't be 3 hours or 4 hours of sleep every day. That will really hamper your productivity. So for time management, it is important for you to be relaxed, and it is important for you to have a good sleep. We have another video just on being relaxed and how to bring that into your studies, but just bring it again here about sleep. Okay, so now let us talk about time management. So let us say you have a typical day, you have school, probably you wake up 6 a.m., 7 a.m. or whatever time your school starts, and then you go to school, you come back by 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. And then probably some of you might have coaching, then you are actually gone till 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. again. So you really have finished a lot of time of the day just going to school and going to coaching, and that way it will be hard for you to find time to study on your own. And that is where I really want to bring an important point in, that whatever coaching you are doing, whatever school you are going, how much good teachers you have, one of the important things to do is to make out time for self-study. And trust me, like I have a lot of friends who have, all of my friends during my undergraduate in IIT Delhi, and all of my friends here at MIT, I think the single most important for any kind of academic education is self-study. There is no one who can teach you more than how much you can teach yourself. That is the best way to learn. The best way to learn any mathematics problem is to solve problems yourself. So in time management, one of the focus that I will suggest you to have some time for self-study. And how much time? Again, it is very easy for me to just say a few numbers, but that might not be the best. So let us say if you come back by 6 p.m., I'll say spend 4 hours. That is a really high limit. 3 to 4 hours of good study. Only if you are not super tired, you should probably make it 3 hours if it is you are too tired, but you should, on the time when your entire day is packed. If you come by 6 p.m., maybe you can take 1 hour of break and then study for 3 hours or so, and then sleep at again 10:30 and get your good sleep. So 3 hours for days you are going to coaching, and probably 8 to 10 hours of day, 8 hours of day, which is a normal 8 hours is a normal work life for the entire world. So 8 to 10 hours of day when there is no coaching or you don't have school. But the focus here is to have self-study, and the reason, so let me just write it down. I mean, these are just numbers. Again, there is no single rule, so please do not take these to be the stone. If you are too tired or too stressed, do not push yourself. Do not try to like lose out on your sleep. That is really important. So 3 to 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours on busy days. And like I would say 8 to 10 hours on relatively free days. Okay, and by busy days I mean you have coaching, you have some other commitment, but that is really important. Okay, so self study is very important for time management, because I mean I feel that if you just try to do too much, if you take too many classes, too many coaching classes, too many tuitions, you have school, and if that is the case, I mean you barely will have any time left for self study. So effectively managing time means, for me personally, that you should take out appreciable time for self study. Okay, now that is a very easy thing for me to say that you should do self study, but I think a lot of people, what they struggle in time management is, let us say you are in class 12th, you probably did not have a very good start to your JEE preparation. In class 11th you missed out a chapter. I did the same. I think a lot of my friends did the same, that while they were preparing, they of course left out few chapters they didn't like. I mean, I was never a big fan of inorganic chemistry. I never actually probably read it very well, and I did not really prepare for it. And when you are in class 12, you realize, okay, there is time now, and that you are actually now lagging behind, and there are so many things to do, and then you are getting stressed. So at that point, I feel that there is an important thing for you to realize, that how you should break up the time when you have something, you have a when you have a lot of lagging chapters behind. So this is a tip for basically in time management, that if you are in a position when you have a lot of things which you have not covered till now, and that you probably left behind chapters which you are not confident about, things that you feel aren't working out really well. So how to manage that? So in self-study, if I were to say, if I have to break something, then my personal preference, because a lot of students really worry about this. For instance, you are doing, let's say, a chapter which needs some information of a chapter you are not very confident about, and then you start to get really stressed. So in self-study, that is why one component that I always very much will emphasize, and there will be a separate video just on revision. So roughly speaking, again these are just thumb rules, there is no single rule to how to do that, and the revisions should take up something around 20% of your time, just roughly speaking. So let's say if you are in a week, you have 40-45 hours of self-study, let's say, I mean 9 into 35 hours of self-study, then you should take 5 hours or so, 5-7 hours or so for revision. And you might be saying that's a lot, I mean how can you find time for revision? But I would rather learn something and revise things like over and over again, because that is one of the challenges with JEE, that people have to remember the entire syllabus of 2 years, and you have to bring that out on one day or a couple of days. So that is why that's a big challenge. So in my opinion, in a typical day, in a typical week, let's say, or a month, when you are doing these self-study hours, you should definitely take out time, just dedicate some time block and take it out for just revision. I really think that is important, and that's why I am basically writing this down here. Again, this is just a rough rule. Please please do not take it as like something written in stone. I think a lot of students take things to I mean, if I say 20%, that does not mean that you cannot be flexible at all or anything like that, but just roughly speaking, as a thumb rule, just a very crude rule, I think this is a reasonable thing to say that you should take out time for revision. And because really, if without revision, if you learn a lot of things but you forget them, then they are as good as not being done. So please revise them, and please revise your topics regularly. It should be a part of your current work strategy to manage time. Okay. Now, probably one of the most important things is to cut down distractions. So I know a lot of people might not like this and might actually tell me that you shouldn't encourage people to say that cut down distractions. I just mean that you should avoid time sucker things which suck out time of your entire day. Television, too much time on internet, too much time on phone calls. I am not saying just remove everything from your life and you should just study. No, I do not agree with that kind of lifestyle, where people become too serious about studies and do not enjoy. No, that's not the kind of thing which I am suggesting here. What I am really suggesting here is that you should be mature enough to realize that television, watching too much TV series or news channels or too much of these things will actually be harmful for your preparations, because they actually suck a lot of time. And let's say if you are trying to in sort of like cutting down these distractions, if you do not really focus on bringing these down, you will actually realize that you don't even realize that you are not studying. Okay. So one of the things which I really think are important is cutting down these things. I mean, be honest with yourself. Do not try to fool around. Do not try to deceive yourself. I mean, I'm just giving suggestions. Nobody can know what is going on in your life, what is sucking time better than you yourself. So nobody can tell you that, but these are just the more important things that we feel are sort of common things which create problems, are like internet, television and phone calls. So avoid them as much as you can. Texting, so common these days, right? People text all the time. If you don't know how to solve a question, you text and ask a friend. Do not do that. I mean, of course, you need friends to talk and discuss your progress and questions. Of course, you need your friends, but just taking a break from study every single second to ask someone is distraction. So avoid that, and that is where you actually will realize that you waste a lot of time, and that is why you feel you are out of time every day. So I understand that JEE preparation can be really hard, but actually it becomes much harder because you do not cut down the distraction. So I mean, to be more explicit, let me just write down TV, phone, texting, and internet, or basically being on your computer for too long, and just avoid these things as much as you can. Of course, there is some necessity for these things. You need phones to do basic things. You might have to call your parents or some friends sometimes. That's fine, but that shouldn't be the major chunk of your time. And if you avoid that, you'll actually realize that I mean, you have a lot more time with you. So when I was during my preparation, I remember I used to spend a lot of time on internet on a social networking site called Orkut, which does not even exist anymore. I remember there was a time when I would even spend 4 hours every day on that website, and after a few months, actually, it hit me that I am wasting so much time, and then I basically deleted my account, and I was basically getting addicted. There is an addicting nature to these things, and so I was getting addicted to using that website, and then I deleted my account and only made it after I give the entrance examinations. And of course, once you clear the examinations, you have a relatively more time to relax, because you don't need such sustained hard work for like 2 years. You would need some hard work, but there is little more involvement of distraction. Plus, you become more mature with time. So, at this age, at the time and people prepare for JEE, I would really recommend them to cut down these things as much as possible. I mean, I learned it from my side. I learned it the hard way. I definitely lost out on some months of studies, and I would really recommend you please cutting down on these things. Okay. Another thing about time management is setting goals, and I think goal setting could be important, but sometimes students just set very unrealistic goals. Like so, goal setting is something which I think people tend to become really unrealistic about. So be realistic and honest. So I mean, these are like short-term things, everyday things, like have a good sleep, find time for self-study within that, how to divide your time, how to cut down distractions to have more time. Goal setting is more like a long-term time management, how to manage time in terms of long-term. So I think this is sort of a little important, that you should have sort of a realistic goals. People make really unrealistic goals. It's almost I mean, I used to do that too. I understand that habit, but it's just too unrealistic that they think, okay, in 1 week we will do so many chapters and so many things, and they just put so much stress on themselves, and when you don't achieve it, you just become too demotivated, too demoralized. So one of the things you should try to do is to have honest and realistic goal settings. And what do we mean by honest and realistic goal settings is be honest with yourself. This is what is important. I have to spend this much time in revision. I have to do so many current topics, and this is how much time I will dedicate to them. And be realistic. Do not make unrealistic plans. Now here is the catch. When I say make realistic plans, people might just really become really over relaxed, which means to say that they will actually make so easy goals that won't be. That's not what I am trying to say. I am saying challenge yourself, but be realistic. Don't make so unrealistic plans that you will end up demotivating yourself. Goal setting should be more of a motivation for you, that okay, I'll decide today I'll do these things, and once I have done these things, then I will do this. So I mean, that could be a goal setting. And here something which I think is probably one of the very, very important things in time management is feedback. And who can give you feedback about your goal setting and your progress is only and only you. No amount of help and no amount of guidance can actually be more important than you helping out yourself. And that is really one of the things which I feel is central to JEE preparation, or rather anything, but central to JEE preparation at least, is being honest to your own goal settings, your own plans, and your own achievements. So I mean, if you are dishonest to yourself, if you are spending a lot of time on TV, on texting, on internet, I mean, I can say whatever I want to say, but that will not help you. So it is really your JEE preparation. You have to be responsible about it. So you have to be honest and you have to give yourself feedback. So when you make goals, let us say you make weekly goals or monthly goals, be honest and give yourself honest feedback. If you can see yourself if you can yourself figure out, okay, this is where I am spending more time and I should avoid it, then do that. Okay, then definitely do that. And I think that is sort of what I would say is important. Okay, now other things which I will sort of say a few things is about, like goal setting is there, cut down distractions, self-study, sleeping is there. So in a day you have sleep, you have self-study, cut down, you should cut down distractions. On a long-term scale you should have goal settings and things like that. Now a few small things I would like to say about time management is utilizing time whenever you are talking with your friends who are probably preparing for JEE or another entrance examination. Is make a good study group, or I mean, you don't have to make a study group, that's not required. I'm just saying that utilize that time, utilize time in school or some wherever you have other friends, you have friends or relatives who probably are in the same position as you. You can utilize that time I mean, take it as a productive time. Don't try to be competitive. I mean, competition in JEE is just with yourself. That's my central theme. I always say that, and I'll always say that you are only competing with yourself. You just should try to become better and better every day, and that should be your only goal. So just utilize time in school, and I mean, you can discuss with friends. Something you're facing difficulty, you can discuss with them in a very genuine and sort of a learning spirit, in the way of a learning spirit. I feel like if you are going to school every day and you are spending so much time in school, why not utilize that time? I do not propose that people should not listen to their teachers and solve coaching modules and all that. I do not agree with it. Just if you are in school and if you are learning in your class, that's fine. But I believe you do have some time in school, probably while you are going to school, or you have breaks in school, or you have free periods in your school, then you can utilize that time and discuss with your friends and like discuss problems, basic questions, concepts. Probably sometimes when someone else explains a concept, like a friend explains a concept to you, that can really be helpful. So I think in a daily life that you can try to imbibe in you, that you should have a healthy relationship with your friends, and I think that will also be helpful. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about in time management is also that while you are studying, I think it is also very, very important to have a sort of have good concentration in studies, concentration while studying, and also enjoying what you are studying. I think these are like things which are important and probably are more than overlooked very, very commonly. So again, if you are texting while you are studying, you are going to lose time. That nobody can help you in that. If you are watching TV and then you are studying, you just cannot do the best you can then. If you are trying to look up the answer on internet, how to solve this problem, and while you are studying, nobody can help you. So the way you should really be studying is actually being really with the topic you are studying. So having a good concentration while you are studying and really enjoying the topic, enjoying calculus, enjoying differentiation or physics or chemistry or whatever you are reading, actually really enjoying and concentrating exactly on that. And that is very an important topic for time management, because let us say you are distracted and you are probably studying more than 3 or 4 hours on busy days, but you realize that okay, I am not actually really being with the topic there. You are really worrying about JEE or future. So you should really be just focusing on that topic. When the topic comes, when you are reading some topic, you should just focus on learning that, how to do problems on that, rather than being distracted with other things. I think that is important thing for time management, that if you actually lose out time and your productivity goes really down, then that is not really good for you. And for concentration, again, sleep. So all these things are interconnected. So sleep is important, because if you are really poor in your sleep, then your productivity is bound to go down, and things like that. Okay. So I mean, these were just general tips which we wanted to share with you. The idea behind these videos is just to sort of encourage you to learn in a very healthy way, taking JEE's preparation in a good way and really making a learning experience out of them, rather than worrying too much about results or worrying too much about preparation. So just to summarize whatever I have spoken in this video, first I emphasize the importance of having a good sleep, and like I said, we have another video just on relaxation and sleep would be one component there also. So if you are more curious about sleep, maybe you want to check out that video. Like I said, in time management, one of the things that is often overlooked is self-study. So because people go to coaching and the school and so many tuitions sometimes also, so they do not make out time for self-study. I would really encourage you to probably drop tuition or whatever extra thing you can drop and focus on self-study. Giving just rough numbers is that maybe on busy days you can try to have 3 to 4 hours of self-study, and on relatively free days you should have 8 to 10 hours of studies. These are just thumb rules. There is no single rule for this, but these are just rough numbers suggesting the same. In self-study, definitely take out time for revision, which is often overlooked because you have to have a lot of topics on your fingertips while you're preparing for JEE. And again, there is a separate video on revision where we go into a lot more detail about how to revise, when to revise, and all that. Spend most of the time on our current topics, which is obvious. Another thing, in daily life, try to avoid distractions, avoid TV, texting, internet, phone calls, as much as you can. Of course, there is some basic need for them, but try to avoid them. This will really improve your efficiency while you are working, and this will really make you much more relaxed also in your preparation. So cutting down distraction is important, and I also personally gave my example of how I used to be addicted to a social networking website. Okay. Now, more long-term time management, you should do some goal setting where you are actually making goals for like 1 week, 1 month or so, where you are being realistic and you are being honest. You are not saying, okay, in 1 month you will finish all organic chemistry, all inorganic chemistry, all physical chemistry. That's not possible. Be realistic, be honest, and then give yourself honest feedback on how you are doing, where you are wasting time, which topics are your strong topics. That is also important. Which topics are your weak topics. Then also, like I said, you spend a lot of time in school. Have a healthy relationship with your friends. Talk to them. Learn with them and utilize time in school. Don't try to solve packages while you are in your class. Focus on the class, but all my suggestion is have a good relationship with your friends, because often you may be able to learn a lot of concepts with your friends. Lastly, concentration is very important while studying. So one of the things that I recommend is enjoying the topic. Don't really worry about JEE. While you're reading calculus, just enjoy calculus. While you're reading 3D vectors, just enjoy 3D vectors. While you're reading kinematics, enjoy kinematics. And for that, it is important for you to have a good sleep, and you should cut down distractions. Okay. So there are a lot more videos and tips. If you like this kind of videos, and if you think these things are useful, please check out the other videos. And I hope that this video is useful. Thank you.